Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Veronica, and she's my personal business shaman. And she is joining us from close by in Vermont. Yeah,
Yeah.
Vermont. So it's not too far from where I am, which is in Connecticut. But we're really excited to talk to Veronica today because it's the beginning of a new year, and I know these tend to be required to be evergreen, but there's value to assuring that it's a new year, and whenever we have these milestones, there's always an opportunity for us to look at the way we're doing the things that we're doing and perhaps to infuse new practices and new things that can help us to be even better, even more awesome than we already are, because we are pretty amazing. So, welcome, Veronica. Thank you so much for joining in with us today. Also, on the call today, I'm so excited to have Hannah McKittrick, one of our dear friends to the show, joining in. So, Veronica, can you share with us who you are and tell us a little bit about the wonderful things that you're doing in the world?
Thank you so much, Davia, for having me. And and so great to see Hannah too. Yay. Um, yeah, so my name is Veronica Wirth. My company is Evolvative, and I'm also the host of the Athena Matrix podcast. And as Davia said, Dr. Davia said that I am her business shaman. And that kind of sums up my general role with most of my clients in some way or another. Yes, and Hannah's too. um, my background is a shamanic practitioner, but I also, and I should say, and I also have a lifetime, another lifetime experience in branding and advertising and marketing in the corporate world as well. So I bring those together to really help people infuse the magical and the energetic, and I am a channel, so it's bringing, their guides and wisdom from source into the practical, everyday work of forming and growing and evolving and doing business in a much lighter and more enlightened way.
I love that. I would love if you could share with everybody what is a shaman? Because, we've heard the word and we probably think we have an idea of what it is that you do, but perhaps if you share a little bit more, it'll give people a little more insight into what exactly your work is with us.
Definitely. Well, it is a broad term, and I would say more accurately, I would call myself a shamanic practitioner, which means I work with shamanic principles and skills. But to say someone is call one a shaman is really akin to a medicine woman or a medicine man. It's somebody who has very deep knowledge of, it's really working, being able to work, converse, work with, and navigate things in the unseen and how those meet the seen world. And it's, as you can imagine, like any spiritual work, it's an ongoing lifetime pathway. And most often, people who do this work will say they were called. It's not really something you go out and say, it's not a career choice necessarily. It's really more of a deeper soul calling. It's something that has shown up in my life in layers over the years and over the decades since I was very young. And I really didn't know what to call all of these things that I was doing and experiencing. And as I uh, trained with different people and got more adept at receiving wisdom from my guides, it really was given to me that, oh, this is who you are. This is what you're here to do in the world. And yeah, so I hope that helps. Explain it a little bit.
Sure. So what you're saying is that you didn't talk to your guidance counselor and she said to you like, yeah, I think, you would be a really good shaman. Let's head you down this road. How did you go from corporate being in the world of marketing and branding, which is really sought after skill, to stepping into this place of supporting us in our businesses in a different way through the shamanic practices?
Certainly. Um, yeah, it was really, and I'm guessing a lot of our guests can relate to this. I know Hannah can, and I know you can too, Dr. Davia. Going about my business, doing my work, and began feeling these nudges of something, just a craving for a deeper aspect of myself that was wanting to come forward. And um and it felt very clear to me as I kept walking forward and continuing to do my branding work, that it wasn't something that I wanted to abandon the branding work and make a right turn and go off and do something completely different. It was really calling to be integrated. And it was calling to make what I was already doing in the world something deeper, something more, and to be able to speak to that aspect in with my clients, to help bring their deeper aspects, their more magical aspects forward, through the work I was doing with them. So it was a gradual process. I won't lie and say that it was without resistance, because there were definitely moments of, you kind of look up at the sky and go, "You've got to be kidding me. You want me to do what?" Um, and finding the path of what that looked like, exploring the path of what that would look like. What does it look like? Felt like I was forging a pathway that hadn't been there, really wasn't a model for in many ways. So it was a lot of trial and error, but it was a gradual process, that transition, and I wouldn't change it for the world now, sitting where I am.
I remember back perhaps a few years ago that you would do maybe retreats that were maybe branding, helping people to open up to what source would like for their brand to look like. And I thought that was just such an amazing way of going about thinking about how we want to do our branding. And so since I learned about your process, I've always really tried to stay tuned in to all the other aspects, even as I'm doing my marketing. How has being having that background in marketing helped you with doing the work that you do when you work with people who are business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's helped a lot, because I have the ability to, when I tap in intuitively, I then can go easily into um, seeing where, like, how their business wants to express itself. And
Hmm.
it's like I could see where it wants to go, and with that understanding of marketing and branding and advertising and messaging. Um, it's like I can kind of connect the two really easily, and it just is kind of the way my wiring works. When I sit down and tune in with my clients, I can get all of these insights and clarity around, like, I can see almost their future, or one potential future of how, you know like, I'll ask questions like, "Are you on video yet? Because I see you doing video, or I see you really like there's a lot, I could see where the energy is the strongest, and then have the vocabulary and the insight in how to translate that or help translate that for them, and give them some ideas of how it might look that they may not have thought about before.
So tell me a little bit about how you are working with clients now. Like, who's your ideal client? Who's the type of person who would benefit from sitting with you and taking in your wisdom?
I would say most, it can look a little bit different in a few different ways, but it's the common thread is somebody who is already established in their business in some way and is undergoing the sense that something is shifting. It's time for bringing in some kind of new aspect, but there's not clarity yet around that. And it's, this feeling of, and this can happen, I want to be clear too, that this happens when we're on a personal growth path. Expect this to happen multiple times in your business. It's a cycling, right? Yes, you're smiling. We can all relate. Like, wait, it's not one and done? Sorry, guys, ladies. But so expect it to happen. So it's any stage of your business. The clients that are best served by being in my energy and my containers are at that point where the shift, they're getting the nigglings around some kind of shift. Something bigger is wanting to come through. It's not entirely clear yet what that is, or if it is somewhat clear, it's not entirely clear how that's going to look. And really there's a sense usually of, I've gone into my logical mind and I'm not getting the answers, all the answers that I need. And I can sense the answers, the clarity that I'm seeking is from someplace deeper. And I feel like in many ways I'm the guide that can help sort of connect you to that deeper space and really translate and bring in messages, clarity, information in the Akasha, all of that to really start to understand what's forming up. What is my soul really calling for? What does Source really want to express and communicate through me next?
Outstanding. I want to call in Hannah because I know Hannah's seen you at work. So Hannah is one of our dear friends to the show. She's been a guest on the show many times. And for those of you who don't know Hannah, are you open to sharing with everybody who you are and what you do?
Oh, sure. So I'm Hannah, and I am an anti-diet wellness chef and intuitive healer, and I really help people bring back peace in their body, peace in their mind, and joy and fun into their soul. And we do this by the energy that we bring to food. And the energy that you bring to food and health can really lighten your life. And I teach virtual healing cooking programs and also culinary and wellness retreats in Italy, which Veronica helps assist me with. And the experience that I offer is really a complete energetic transformation to someone's relationship with cooking and with food, so that it doesn't feel so heavy, and that they can really transition into a lightness around it and stop the war between their mind and their body.
So, what has your experience been working with Veronica?
It's been like a hot fudge cookie sundae. It's been delightful.
Can I quote you on that?
um, well, so I first, like the first session I had with Veronica, I don't know if she remembers, but I do. And it was, she was saying that, actually, this is the second one, that like my mission here on earth is to like bring more joy to people. And it just, it was never that was never like said out loud, and so it was really cool to like hear that kind of validation from Veronica via the universe and like my guides. And so it's kind of like doesn't really matter what I'm doing or whatever, it just is like the essence of it that matters, which is the joy. And so at the time I think I was like marketing something or selling something, and so it was kind of like bringing that essence into what I was doing. Was like a slight, I'd say, shaman business tweak. It's like bringing the energy of your soul purpose into your marketing. It's like you don't really like read that on whatever in the New York Times, but it was super valuable. And so that was one like on a personal level that really helped me. And then Veronica came to my Italy retreat in May, and she assisted in a couple different like shamanic healing circles on the retreat to help facilitate like I lead like some deep healing circles on retreat that kind of navigates someone's mind and soul. And then Veronica brings it like another layer deeper and integrates that on an energetic level is kind of how I felt it. And so it's like we were bringing up these big awarenesses for people. And then in order to like not have their mind have to figure out how to like integrate it all at once, then Veronica comes in and really like offers that from an energetic level through sound healing, through channeling, through holding the space. But then also on a personal level on retreat, she was really my like confidant and like person on the retreat, like in terms of supporting me that way. And we really had some like sacred moments on the retreat, like just tuning into the land itself and like the history of it and how like we've lived lives there before, like all of us, and just like the deep like support that was surrounding me and the group. Veronica was able to like let me know that that was happening. Like, of course I feel it a little bit, but then for someone to be like, oh my God, there's like 9,000 light beings surrounding us, I was like, oh shit, like we're good. And we were. So irreplaceable, I'd say, is one word that comes to mind for Veronica. Yeah.
So, as a retreat leader, you definitely recommend having Veronica along on your retreat for that level of
Totally. And
support.
even like one of our colleagues was hosting a retreat not long after mine, and she and I were talking, and she's like, oh, do you have any advice for me? And I was like, yeah, I would book a session with Veronica before you lead your retreat, before and after, before being like opening the retreat container energetically, and then after to like integrate everything that happened. Because as a retreat leader, every time you lead a retreat, you up level. And sometimes that can be a really big shock to our system. And so Veronica really helps to like integrate everything you've learned into your being without it like feeling like you're on a caffeine high, which I felt like.
Awesome. So, Veronica, as we head into this new year, I mean, yes, I agree. The new year, there are lots of things that are going to be similar to the old year, but are there any things in particular that, from your shamanic principles, you would recommend that we really tune into?
Mm, a couple things actually. Um, well, energy is like my native tongue in many ways. So, um, I would say definitely really trust be able in whatever ways that you tune into your soul, trust the energy, look into and feel and ask, what is the energy that I'm wanting to embody going forward? What is my soul calling for? And one of the other things I feel is so key now, and I think will continue to be going forward as things accelerate, and there's so much shifting going on and continuing to go on in our physical world, our outer world. And it's more important than ever that we tend to our own vibration, our own health, our own sanctity and sovereignty. So there's a teaching that I've been given, which is around the concept of inner and outer authority. So we have, we're in a culture where we're largely taught to value outer authority and whatever's outside of us to respond to that. And that's how we feel. If it's chaotic outside or if it's chaotic in our home or frustrating or whatever it is, then that's how we feel. And really, more and more, as doing the work that I do, it's absolutely essential that we shift more and more to our own inner authority so that we become the eye in the storm. And it is my belief that this is a huge part of how we actually change the world and create the version of the world that we all really would love to live in, because we become then the vibratory beacon, to use your analogy with the beacon. I mean, it really is that. It's we become, cultivating the way that we center ourselves and come back and we set the vibration that we want to hold and vibrate at, and then let that radiate out. And that creates change. And that creates positive change instead of the other way around. This is how we get depleted, right? We take everything in, and then we wonder why we feel so much anxiety or sadness or depression or whatever it is, chaos. But we can turn that around, coming back to our center in whatever ways that work for us the best, and really cultivating that and nurturing that as much as you can. And not giving so much credence to what's outside. Doesn't mean that you have your head in the sand and you're ignoring, but it's that this comes first. And then you can see through these eyes what's going on in the outside world from a much larger perspective, and be more at cause and have more positive effect from that space.
So I love that idea. You know, one of my very favorite mentors of all time is Dr. Deepak Chopra, and he talks about being the eye of the storm and using your inner compass and having inner peace, even when things around you are a raging storm. And at the same time, it's really easy to say, do that, but do you have any advice for us about how to put this into practice?
Definitely. A couple things, just very simply, take time at least once a day to tune in to your soul. And I'm a big fan of lot more small bits than, I know sometimes it can be difficult. Like if you think, oh, I have to sit down for an hour or half an hour, sometimes that's just doesn't feel doable. But if you can grab 10 minutes, we can do anything for 5 or 10 minutes, right? But just starting practicing that, and I feel like the concept that's really important here to share with people is that it's a skill. So don't be discouraged if you sit down and you're like, I don't know, there's too much going on in my head. That's totally okay. It's totally normal. But it's the coming back again and again. Just create the space. It's like priming a pump. Eventually your body gets and your mind gets used to the process, and the clarity will come. I mean, when I first started meditating, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I can't. People got all these messages. I was like, I got nothing. And now, I mean, now it's so easy for me to it's like the pathway is very clear and open. So it does change. And the other thing I will mention too is I'm actually getting ready to relaunch a program that I ran last year called Sacred Energy Mastery, which goes deep into this process, and all of these different skills that help us really master and work with our own energy. And if folks want to, get on my mailing list for that, I can put links at the bottom after the call. But that would be something coming up for people that want to go, definitely go deeper with that.
What benefits will people get when they become a part of this program that you're offering?
It's really being more centered, and also I call it energy hygiene. It's probably a term people, I'm guessing many people have heard. Um, that's part of it. But it's really becoming a master of your own energy, and understanding how your energy works, and and then understanding actually how to use it, how to clear it. Anybody out there who's a service provider of any kind, you don't have to be a healer or, um, or an energy worker, but even for coaches and service providers, just understanding energetics of when we work with clients and other people and how we take on energy, how we transmit energy, and ways to manage that, keep our space clear so that we can be clearer channels for the work that we're here to do.
Keeping our energy clear so we can be a clearer channel for the work that we're here to do. I love that. People are going to want to connect with you, Veronica. How can they do that?
Yes. Well, first, the easiest would be to go to evolvative.com, and you can join my mail list there. You can find out more about the podcast there. And I will also, for your guests, for the people in this group, I wanted to also offer a free half-hour call with me. Um, we can dive into a little bit of intuitive stuff, see what comes forward, but really wanted to give people an opportunity to get um, a taste of what I do and what it's like to work together, and then I can answer any questions and help them with things. I think, yeah, I think I have the link here. So that's a free call they can um, sign up
Beautiful.
for.
So I'm going to invite you to choose a number between 1 and 20 so that we can choose
7.
our winner.
Ooh, 7 came up loud and clear.
7. Okay, so our number one winner for today, who will win a free call with you, is Dawn Rizzo, who's joining us over in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. Really, really excited
Yay!
for Dawn to get a call with you. Would you be open to offering a second gift today?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Well, then I'm going to invite you one more time to choose another number between 1 and 20.
Mm, well, they're showing me 2 numbers. Let's see, 13.
13. Lucky number 13. And I want to congratulate Rachel, who is a winner of a second call with you to
Yay!
learn how to really get that energy mastery. Beautiful, beautiful. And I am so excited that you are able to join us today, Veronica. I want to share with everybody that we're doing Free Gift Friday a little bit differently going forward for 2023, new year, right? So for this year, I want to invite our affiliates, our members of our Ladies Power Lunch Inner Circle. Those would be our collaborative members, our Ladies Power Lunch Visibility Circle members, and our Ladies Power Lunch Amplify members. Those are the people that we're going to be really inviting to take advantage of Fridays inside the Ladies Power Lunch group. And what that means is that if you are the scheduled presenter on Free Gift Friday, you get a chance to be a temporary moderator or admin for the whole entire day. And that means you can post whatever you want to post about your business. If you want to post polls, if you want to do Facebook Lives, if you want to teach us a yoga pose, if whatever it is that you feel called to share from your gifts and talents with our group, you have the entire day on a Friday from midnight on Thursday night to midnight on Saturday morning to go ahead and share your gifts and talents, because we have a half hour on this show, but that's never, ever, ever really enough to share about all the amazing things that our amazing guests have to offer. And so that's how we're going to be doing it for the most part for Free Gift Fridays. So I'm inviting us all to tune in because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And also, if you're interested in being one of our Free Gift Friday presenters, I also invite you to just send me a private message in our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. And we welcome you. We absolutely welcome you, because what we want is for more of our members to be in the spotlight, to get their message out. And that idea that I have of us all linking arms and supporting each other, it really happens better when we know what everybody's doing. Veronica, thanks so much for joining us
Mm.
today. It's been just such my deepest pleasure. And I hope everybody will tune in to your website, tune into your podcast, and take advantage of your new program that you have to offer. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Congratulations to our winners, and I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.